Hello, wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. Welcome back on this platform, BVI Channel 1, where truth is the gospel we preach. Just very recently, Dino Melaye, Senator Dino Melaye, had made a very, not quite surprising, but to so many, shocking respect to budget allocation of the president and the vice president. And I want you to attentively listen to this very revelation and exposure. Then you understand why Nigeria will never move forward. I'll be right back.
Of 24.8 billion was budgeted for the president. It was budgeted that the president will spend 776.6 million for local travels. This is the president we know does not embark on any local travel, but is going to spend 775.6 million naira for local travel and transport, while the sum of 1.5 billion will be spent on international travel and transport. So put together, the president is going to spend close to 2 billion on traveling local and international. The president's foodstuff and catering material supply for the year 2022 stands at 301.1 million naira. When Nigerians are languishing in hunger and poverty, the president is going to spend for his kitchen 301.1 million for the year 2022. Then the president miscellaneous, that means he can spend anyhow he likes, stands at 250.8 million. And honorarium and sitting allowance for Mr. President is 174 million naira. The 2022 budget of the vice president stands at 1.1 billion naira. The vice president is to spend the sum of 301.9 million for local travels and transport, while the sum of 476.2 million will be spent on international travel and transport by the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 6.3 million will be spent on office stationaries and computer consumables. The sum of 4.6 million will be spent on printing and non-security documents. The vice president food stuff and catering material supplies for the year 2022 is 156.6 million naira. Miscellaneous, spend anyhow you like amount for the office of the vice president in 2022 stands at 99.7 million naira. That one, I don't even know why they didn't run it up to 100 million, but it's 99.7 million naira. Objectives. Just this week, the above FIRS proposed 2022 budget scaled through the House Committee on Finance without proper scrutiny. Therefore, failing Nigerians and as the custodians of the nation's common wealth. They failed to use their constitutional mandate to ensure judicious deployment of available resources at minimum costs. The provision of Section 88(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which gives the National Assembly the powers to expose corruption, inefficiency, or waste in the execution of administration of laws within legislative competence and in the disbursement of administration of funds appropriated by the National Assembly, is now in abeyance. In conclusion, the Anti-Corruption Network, at the risk of sounding repetitive, reiterates that the current budgeting system in Nigeria is a monumental national disgrace. It shows a level of moral bankrupt and shameless open displays of inordinate financial ambition and fraud. We therefore recommend the following going forward. A, in line with the anti-corruption stand of the Nigerian current administration, all abuse of powers and privileges by public and elected officials should be made to face the law, irrespective of status or position. The executive should adopt a yearly publication of the appropriation bills before sending to the legislative arm of government. C, the presidency should also engage a reputable consulting firm to guide and audit the appropriation bill process to ensure credibility of the budget. Finally, the Anti-Corruption Network recommends that it is high time the citizens speak out and collectively hold our elected representatives accountable, since we are all stakeholders in the Nigerian project, and as a nation, we should remember that in an unjust society, silence is a crime.
You've seen it. Now, Dino Melaye, let me start from you, because it is quite easy to criticize when the table turns around. You know the whole saying that if you are on the dining table, you observe the dining manners. When you the shop, you no go talk. Why am I saying this? The revelation you just had, respect to the budget allocation for the kitchen allowance, food allowance for Mr. President and that of Vice President, it is not just ridiculous, but outrageous. Almost 900,000 or more, getting to 1 million per day to feed one man in a country that is languishing in poverty, in a country that goes to borrow to fund its budget. Even America, I don't know if their president eats as much as this. Even if they use full nama they cook for Mr. President per day, will it amount to such outrageous amount of money? Now, make we not hold the president alone and the vice president on this. Your senators, that means the House of Assembly members, your governors, your state assembly members, the appointees, beginning with the ministers down to the commissioners, they all have a chunk of these allocations. Now, tell me, if these few people who amount to less than 2%, let me just be benevolent, 2% of the entire population of Nigeria, the wealth of this country is allocated to them for their personal effects, for their own personal effect, to take care of them, to run this country. You see why I tell you that to run Nigeria is even more expensive than the budget. Why will you think you are going to develop? That is part of the reason why we put it in the end SARS, one of our demands. If you look at it, you see cutting cost of governance. Because these men, they go out there, they allocate outrageous amount of money as allowances, salaries, personal effect, as you had from Dino Melaye. But this same thing trickles down the entire system. How much they remain for the ordinary citizen? In a country that is so poor, that has to go and borrow, how do you think you have any hope for your health system to work, for your school system to work? You are complaining about road. How do you think you are going to get road when the running of the government is more expensive? I mean, taking care of the people that runs the government is more expensive than running the government itself, than delivering the service itself. So, if you're a businessman and your cost of production is more than the money you, or is even it's more than the goods you produce. You are producing bread that you will sell for 100 naira, and you end up spending 2,000 naira to produce that bread. That means you are insane. That business must be closed down. Now, I don't get the gist why we say this fraud called Nigeria should be shut down. And the empowering documentation that backs this whole impunity up is that 1999 Constitution. So you see, when I say it, we know and understand what we're talking about. And they too, they know. But they have agreed among themselves and they have come to the conclusion that the divide and rule they have instigated among Nigerians will keep making them pinch against each other. The ordinary people from the east will be fighting the ordinary people from the north. The ordinary people from the north will be fighting the people from the west. The same is applicable for those from the south, as they call it, to the north central. We will all be fighting ourselves. Why this pen continue to take us for a ride? That is the truth. The irreducible minimum, I keep saying it, that we work in Nigeria because Abuja is too far for a common man like me in Anambra State. Why don't you bring it down so that we'll be looking at them eyeball to eyeball? To find out and to know how they would be allocating such amount of money to themselves while the entire population continues to suffer. Or when they give no amount of money they will. It is in this country. When you go into government, you do as you like. You can use 150 million or 200 million to sink one borehole. You get 500,000 at maximum 1 million naira we're saying here. Just in Nigeria, and nobody will ask about it. It is in Nigeria to buy one biro pen of 100 naira. You will buy it at 10,000 naira, and nobody will raise an eyebrow. That is how deep this corruption have eaten. And when I tell you that corruption has become an institution in Nigeria, don't get it twisted. I don't think I just need to say too much. I think this one don't open on our eye better. Now, Nigerians, when I don't agree with me, say you are a victim of the Nigerian state. Now you have to better join this revolutionary movement, good governance ministry, if there is hope for you, including you that is in abroad. Don't think you're not affected, because Agaracha must come back. Manando. Monong. This is the simple truth. Irrespective of what we are agitating for, whether we do the wow or Biafra or even the Islamic State, if you don't solve this problem now, you will never get to where you are going. Because these men, that is why they hold this one Nigeria like this. Not because they love the country, but because they're hiding under it to amass primitive wealth at your own detriment. Now you don't hear them, Abi? Now share it. Share this video, because I am only here to deliver the message as it is, to open your eyes, to ignite your thinking faculty and activate it, so you start reasoning properly. Do the needful. Join good governance ministry, because we have come to make that change happen that will liberate you, irrespective of where you come from. Because truth is truth. It has no ethnicity. I'm only a voice. I'm Associated Peters. I'm signing out. Share, like, drop a comment. Let me have your opinion. Stay safe.